Welcome everyone to the City of Quinte West Committee of Adjustment meeting. The committee is made up of 5 members. I'm a public member. My name is Harm Zelstra, and I'll be the chair this evening. And on my immediate left is public member Doug Phillips, and on his left is public member Paul Lafferty, and on his left is public member David Jesse, and on our far left is Councillor Jim Ellier. On my immediate right is Anne Marie Cunningham, Committee of Adjustment Coordinator, and on her right is Kelly West, Manager of Planning Services. Because this is a hearing under the Planning Act, when the committee gets to the applications for consideration, each application will be brought up in the order listed on the agenda with an opportunity for public input given prior to discussion and consideration by the committee. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your hand to be recognized by the chair. Consent decisions made tonight will have a last day of appeal of September the 3rd, 2026. If anyone wishes to receive a copy of one of the notices of decision, please use the pad of paper provided by the sign-in sheet to indicate your name, mailing address, or email address, and which decision you would like a copy of, and it will be sent to you. If anyone has not signed in on the sign-in sheet, please do so, as this is used for the minutes of the meeting. Could I have any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Hearing none. Could I have approval of the agenda for this evening? Moved by Doug, seconded by Paul. All in favor? Carried. And approval of minutes of July the 9th, 2026.
So moved.
Moved by Jim, seconded by Doug. Thank you. First application is consent application.
Did you do all in favor for
Eh?
the minutes? Did you do all in favor for the minutes?
Oh, all in favor of the minutes? Sorry. Trying to move things along here.
Can't get away with
They can't get away with nothing. First application is consent application B20-26M. The owner is Chris Lambert. The legal description is Part Lot 21, Concession C. The address is 10 Barcove Beach Road in Murray Ward. And the purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new developed lot. The severed lot would have a frontage of 40.78 meters, a depth of 103.62 meters, and total area of 0.49 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 488.05 meters, a depth of 140.26 meters, and total area of 19.58 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Hearing none. Any comments or concerns from the committee members?
Move the recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Jim, seconded by David. That application B20-26M by Chris Lambert to sever a parcel of land at 10 Barcove Beach Road, Part Lot 21, Concession C, in the former township of Murray is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 2, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 3, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. 4, that parcels of land measuring 10 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage and severed and retained lands along Barcove Beach Road be conveyed for road widening purposes to the corporation of the City of Quinte West at no cost to the satisfaction of Public Works. 5, that parcels of land measuring 13 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage of the severed lands along County Road 64 be conveyed for road widening purposes to the corporation of the City of Quinte West at no cost to the satisfaction of Public Works. 6, that a daylight triangle measuring 9 meters along Barcove Beach Road and 9 meters along County Road 64, as measured from the property line along the severed lands, be conveyed to the corporation of the City of Quinte West at no cost to the city for road widening purposes to the satisfaction of Public Works. That the applicant apply for and subsequently obtain an approved access entrance which would supersede Access Permit 570-25 permit for the retained lands for the purposes of civic addressing. 8, that a zoning bylaw amendment be in effect for the severed and retained lands pursuant to the Planning Act. And 9, that development charges in the sum of $10,716 be paid to the city as per bylaw 25103. 10, that parkland fees in the sum of $600 be paid to the city per bylaw 99174. And 11, that the applicant enter an agreement with the city written and registered on title by the solicitor at the applicant's cost, addressing the owner's obligation to notify any purchaser of the requirements and recommendations of the environmental impact study by Jewel Engineering dated September the 9th, 2025. You aware of all these conditions? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is consent application B21-26T. The owner is Fordham Group Incorporated. Keith Watson is the agent. Legal description is Part Lot 13 west of Byron Street. Registered Plan 112. The civic address is 5 Birch Street in Trenton Ward. And the purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new developed lot and an easement for hydro service. Consent applications B21-26T, B22-26T, B23-26T, and 24-26T, and minor variance application A-26T are being processed concurrently on this property. The severed would, on this first property, would have a frontage of 6.87 meters, a depth of 44.6 meters, and total area of 306 square meters. And the retained would have a frontage of 32.51 meters, a depth of 44.8 meters, and total area of 1,496 square meters. Some of these measurements are a little bit different, so I'll have to read them off. On 22-26T, the severed frontage is 5.59 meters, a depth of 44.6 meters, and a total area of 250 square meters. And the retained is the same as the first one. B23-26T, frontage is 5.59 meters, 44.7 meters depth, and an area of 250 square meters. And again, retained is the same as the first one. (24-26T), frontage of 9.43 meters, a depth of 44.8 meters, total area of 422 square meters, and retained the same.
Let's just do those together, and then we'll deal with.
Yeah, we'll do all these, and then the minor variance
Yeah.
separate. Yeah, yeah. Let's go and do that. Any questions or concerns from the public regarding this application or these applications? Hearing none. Who's a representative for this? Watson, you? Okay, all right. So if we need questions answered, okay. Any questions or concerns? Have a mover and a seconder? Moved by David, seconded by Paul. That application be 21-26T. 22-26T, B 23-26T, and B 24-26T. To several parcels of land that create easements for hydro services at 5 Birch Street, Park Lot 13, west of Byron Street, Registered Plan 112 in the former city of Trenton is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, that a registered survey for the severed parcels and associated easement be submitted to the city. 2, that a draft transfer for the severed parcels be submitted to the city. 3, that the tax account for the subject properties be paid up to date. 4, that parcels of land measuring 10 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage and severed and retained lands along Birch Street be conveyed for road widening purposes to the city at no cost to the satisfaction of Public Works. 5, that the applicant apply for and subsequently obtain an approved entrance permit for the severed lands and install the new entrance to the satisfaction of Public Works. 6, that a lot grading and drainage plan for the severed parcels showing a building envelope based on the required setbacks of the zoning bylaw be prepared by a professional engineer, be submitted to the satisfaction of the city, and the applicant enter into an agreement with the city written and registered on title by the city solicitor at the applicant's cost, addressing the owner's obligation to notify any purchaser of the requirement to comply with the approved lot grading and drainage. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
So, Mr. Chair, just to confirm, so David and Paul, you put forward the motion and seconded. Were you doing that for each of those consent applications? So I'll record that you moved and seconded all of those. And then the other thing, Mr. Chair, is just to note that not all of them are exactly the same. The first one that you just read is the easement is for hydro service. However, the next one is for a gas line easement. The next one has gas, and it also creates rights of way for backyard entrance. So up to you as to how you'd like to do that. I think the conditions are all the same except for B22, which has the minor variance attached to it. So if you 22 and 23 have the minor variance attached to them. So if you want to at least read out the original recommendation for each of those and just say we're adding these conditions,
Okay.
I leave it up to you, or we can just recognize in the minutes that we are okay with the recommendations, with the various easements or the right-of-way attached.
How's the committee feel about recognizing all the different
Easements and rights of way.
variances and such? You good? All right. Saved me some reading. Thank you. Pardon?
All in favor.
Yes, all in favor, including those other variances? Oop. Where'd minor variance go? Two,
Should be 49. Or, yeah, 55.
oh, here it is. Is that on the agenda with all the other ones? Yes, okay. All right, next application is minor variance application A9-26T. The owner is Pardon Group Incorporated, Keith Watson, the agent. Legal description is Park Lot 13, west of Byron Street. Registered plan 112. Civic address is 5 Birch Street in Trenton Ward. And the purpose of the application is to permit reduced lot frontage of 5.59 meters instead of the required 6. Consent applications B21-26T, B22-26T, and B23-26T, and B24-T, and minor variance application A9 are to be processed concurrently. Okay, I didn't have to read that. Any comments or concerns from the public? Any, any comments or concerns from the committee members?
Move the recommendation, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Jim, second by Doug. That application A9-26T by Fardon Group Incorporated, Keith Watson, agent at 5 Birch Street, Park Lot 13, west of Byron Street, registered plan 112 in the former city of Trenton is hereby approved. Permit reduced lot frontage of 5.59 meters instead of the required 6 meters. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Now I got all my papers all mixed up. Okay. Next application is a minor variance application A7-26S. The owners are Mariuz and Christina Sokolowski. The legal description is Part Lot 10, Concession 8. The address is 825 Rosebush Road in Sydney Ward. A little bit of background there. The existing detached garage contains an additional residential unit that was constructed without a building permit by previous owners of the property. The current owners are attempting to legalize the use and ensure that the construction meets the building code requirements. And the purpose of the application is to recognize the location of the existing detached garage with an additional residential unit closer to the street line than the principal lot, with a front yard setback of 3.52 meters. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Hearing none. Any questions from the committee members? Any concerns? Have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Doug, seconded by Jim. That application A7-26S by Marinos and Christina Sokolovsky. How's that? Better? Yeah, okay. With a name like mine, you'd figure I should be able to pronounce all these names, but I don't. Legal description is Part Lot 10, Concession 8. Civic address is 825 Rosebush Road in Sydney Ward. Is hereby approved to recognize the location of the existing detached garage with an additional residential unit closer to the street line than the principal building with a front yard setback of 3.52 meters. And one condition, that a building permit be obtained for the additional residential unit and any necessary construction work be completed to the satisfaction of the city. Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is minor variance application A8-26S. The owner is the estate of Joseph Beers. Legal description is Part Lot 19, Concession 8. Civic address is 205 Siggers Corners Road in Sydney Ward. And the purpose of the application is to recognize the location of the existing dwelling with a front yard setback of 6.3 meters instead of the required 7.5 meters. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? No. Any comments or concerns? Moved by David, it's seconded by Jim. That application A8-26S by the estate of Joseph Beers at 205 Siggers Corners Road, Part Lot 19, Concession 8, in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved to recognize the location of the existing dwelling with a front yard setback of 6.3 meters instead of the required 7.5 meters. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Any other business to come before this committee? Hearing none. I have a motion for adjournment. Moved by Jim, seconded by Doug. All in favor? Carried.